You think you're self-sabotaging because you're lazy, but the truth is actually much scarier. Your nervous system is literally allergic to your success. Every time that you get close to that breakthrough, your internal animal triggers a security sweep of anxiety, of brain fog, self-sabotage to drag you back into the same mess over and over and over again. Why? Because to your biology, a familiar hell that you don't even want to be in is much more safer than an unfamiliar heaven. And today I'm going to show you how to override this rejection and finally wire your system to accept and receive this next level of success. Now, before we dive into the whiteboard, guys, make sure that you like and subscribe if this does help you. And let's dive in. Right from the start, does this ever feel like you where you're running, you're sprinting, you're reading the books, hiring the mentors, but nothing is working to get to this new level of success? It's almost like something drags you back to what's familiar, that baseline, that revenue plateau over and over and over again. Or maybe you're the type of entrepreneur, you're the type of hustler, the grinder who you do break above, you accomplish the new success, but you quickly fall back over and over and over again. You burn out, you slow down, you do some unconscious habits or actions that don't make sense, that don't align with who you want to be and where you want to go, and you find yourself stuck at this baseline. Welcome to the club. This what happened to me, guys, when I built my first successful business. I was stuck at a plateau for 3 years. I invested thousands and thousands into mentorships and strategies, anything to break this next level, and nothing changed until I changed within. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you here today so that way you can stop staying stuck, stop playing small, and truly unlock the level that you know you're capable of. So, another kind of example loop on how this works is typically as people, we crave a comfort zone. We like what is most familiar to us in that routine. But if you're someone who is an high achiever, you always are striving for more. And eventually staying at a smaller level is going to piss you off. It's going to get you very angry or emotional, and it's going to drive you to move forwards. You're cooking up the fire, it's getting hot. Now it's time to leave. It's time to go. So then we take new extra actions. We level up our actions. We level up how we perform and show up. And then we start to actually make slight changes. We start to make slight progress. And then comes the identity mismatch, which immediately triggers rejection because it's unsafe. Something new is happening. We're starting to make a change. We're not back to where we were. We're starting to make a change. And that is now being rejected. It's unsafe. We feel the overwhelm, the panic, the anxiety, the brain fog. And then we self-sabotage and we return back to that square one, and the cycle will repeat itself over and over and over again. So what's happening here? What's happening is that your current life right now, your current income, your current identity, who you believe you are, the relationships that you have, how people treat you, your current work position, how you work, how you show up to work, the actions that you take or don't take, the habits, routines, beliefs, everything that you have right now, no matter what, even if it is a complete mess. Even if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're in a terrible job, if you are not making any money, if you are stressed to the nines with bills, that is what's most safe. That has been what is most familiar for you. So the brain wants it over and over again. The nervous system wants it over and over again because your nervous system, how your biology is designed, is that it craves what is most familiar and predictable rather than what is actually um, more so what you might actually want. So you could want something way healthier and better for you, but your nervous system doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about you becoming healthier, making more money, having better relationships. All it cares about is that you stay in what's most familiar. So if your money situation right now is a complete mess, but that's what's been familiar your whole life, that's what it prefers rather than leveling up. And your goals require a new routine, perhaps new levels of making money, new roles, new actions, a new identity. And that plain simple is just unsafe. So, what happens when something is unsafe is our nervous system rejects it. Our nervous system rejects it at all costs, and this is kind of how it works. So, you have your past, which is what's familiar and what's safe, your programming, we'll say, your identity, who you believe you are. And then your nervous system literally filters reality through this. So your nervous system knows that, okay, this is what's most familiar. This has been what's most familiar for me, what's most comfortable. This is how I grew up. This is how I always thought about myself. This is how I've always thought about money. This has been my relationship with money and success. This has been the roles I've played in work, and this is what is most comfortable and familiar. This is who I think I am. Okay. Now let me go filter reality and search for this what is most familiar and safe over and over and over again. So I filter reality, I find what's most familiar. We have our RAS, your reticular activating system, and then your RAS, what it does is it literally filters out 99.999% of reality. So you focus in on what's most familiar, you accept it, and then you just reconfirm and keep getting the same over and over again. But then what happens when you try to make changes? So it's like, okay, the conscious mind is like, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to grow my business. I want to hit this new revenue plateau. But let's say that plateau requires something new of you. It's unsafe, it's unfamiliar, right? So then the panic comes, the anxiety, the worry, it is being rejected. And this triggers your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight system. And this is why when you do hit new levels, when you get more booked calls than usual, when you have more sales calls, more sales opportunities, you might feel that brain fog. You might feel the self sabotage or the burnout. You might unconsciously slow down and not try as hard, not do the little extra things that you know you can do that are going to get you to where you want to go. You might lack clarity or overthink your process, feel the fear, the doubt, all of this just to simply retreat back to what's familiar so we do not reach that next level and stay there because that is being rejected at all cost. So why does success? This is what nobody ever teaches you. This is going to be something I'm almost sure of that this is going to be a new lesson for you today. And that is, why does success feel like a threat? It's not because new success is actually unsafe. It's because of the hidden definitions that you have around this success, the meaning that you assign to the person who you need to be, how they need to be, that is what's causing you to reject the success that you want in your life. Here's what I mean. Who I believe I am right now is a safe. It's safe. Okay, it's familiar. When we think about our next level goals, so I want you to think about the next level in your life, the new money that you want to make, how you're going to be, how you're going to function, how you're going to operate, where you're going to live, all of these things. I want you to imagine that for a second. You probably notice there's a gap. Now, in this gap, the problem is that you have certain definitions, ideas, certain things that you believe needs to happen in order to get to that goal, that you believe needs to change in order to get to that goal, that you believe you need to be or act a certain way or to give up certain things to have that certain goal. And that is what's causing you to reject the success because that is what's unfamiliar, unsafe, and it challenges who you already think you are now. So your definitions of what the new success requires is sparking the rejection, the threat alert. So let's really break this down. Here's a few examples. For example, let's say you're stuck at 10, 20, $30,000 a month right now. And $50,000 a month means that I have less time for my family. So that's just the meaning that you assign to that certain goal. Okay? Well, that is an attack on your safety and your freedom. As an attack on the things that you want most in your life. That's a threat. Next example, being successful equals I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be seen more. This makes success unsafe because then we think of the idea of like, I'm not going to be accepted by the tribe. So we reject it. We don't want that. More money means more stress. So let's say that your idea of making more money means that you are going to be way more stressed out. Then that is going to feel unsafe and rejected. Or let's say you even have an idea of, okay, the person I want to be who's making all this money every month, they're free and in flow. But right now, I have a belief system that money equals stress. Well, that's what's most familiar. And it's not in alignment with who I think I am. This goal is not in alignment because that version of me is free and flowing, which even though that sounds way better, it's not familiar because I've always had stressful times with money. Money means stress to me, so I keep finding myself in chaotic stress. So there's a mismatch there. So we reject that new level of success over and over and over again because it's not familiar. That is one pattern that I was stuck in. I had beliefs that money equals stress and overwhelm. So every time that I hit new record months, guess what I would do? I would quickly self sabotage, lose my money, spend it unconsciously, raise my expenses, invest harder in the business. I would reject the money. I would find a way to find myself back in chaos over and over and over and over and over again. Next is I'm not good enough, but need to be good enough to have what it is that I want. So you believe right now that you're not good enough, but the version of you who you think you need to be, how you need to be, that has what you want is good enough. That's an identity mismatch. And that is unsafe. That is rejected because now you're threatening your identity, who you believe you are now. So that is a huge piece on where so many high level people get stuck when they're trying to change their lives is the definitions that you have around who you need to be, how you need to get what it is that you want. If your idea of who or how you need to be when you have what you want is not familiar and safe now, then it will be rejected. That's the most key that you need to know for today's training. So, the fix, how do we fix this, right? Well, now we know that it's not about you. What I mean by that is like, if you're watching this training today, you are someone who has a high level mind. You want to level up your life, you want to change. That is in your nature. That is in your nature. You're willing to do the work. You're willing to read the books. You're really willing to study, to do all the things that you need to do to get to where you want to go. Not everybody's doing that. You are different in that way. You are the person who is willing to do that, which means that you are already good enough. You are already good enough to have what it is that you want. There's probably people out there who are not even close to you in skill level, but have way more than you. And the reason why is because at this point now in this level, especially again, if you're an entrepreneur that's making, six figures, or if you already are at a pretty high level in your life right now with your accomplishments, it's not always more strategy or this extra little pieces. It is about actually receiving, about actually opening up to accept that new level of success, to no longer reject it, to no longer stay small, to think small, to act in small ways, to totally shift where you completely align with that next level where it's completely accepted into your life, not rejected. Okay. And that's exactly what we got to do. We got to raise the baseline. This is your old safety level at 1.0, and you're ready to hit the 2.0. Then we need to make sure that 2.0 is safe. And there's only a few ways to do that. And number one is change the meaning to your next level. So this is what I do with my one-to-one clients with our deep, deep work. Change the meaning to your next level. So a few questions that you can ask yourself. Number one, what do I believe this next level requires of me? Number two, if I hit this goal, what is something I need to give up that I don't want to give up? Number three, what's scary about this next level? What scares me most? And number four is what is the lie I would have to tell myself to stay in this current mess that I'm in? If you do some honest self evaluation, some self reflection, honest self reflection, and you ask yourself questions like this that allow you to step outside the box, to really dig into why this next level is being rejected so much. Why is it so unsafe? What do I believe to be true about money, about time, relationships, who I need to be, how I need to be, the tasks that I need to handle, the responsibilities? What do I believe about myself? If you can figure that piece out, and you can unpluck the limiting beliefs, the limiting definitions and meanings that you're assigning to that next level, there's going to be nothing stopping you to getting to where you want to go. It's going to be fully accepted and not rejected. You will no longer self-sabotage. You will no longer slow down, have the brain fog when you hit next level. It will fully be accepted. You will flow to it like you're floating down a river. Next is now after you do this and you're working towards a new success, you need to neutralize the new success and then you want to stabilize it. Okay? Do not collapse back. What a lot of people do when they're trying to change their lives is they start getting the new success and the new changes, but they keep collapsing back. Every time that overwhelm, that panic, that anxiety, that worry, that fear, that brain fog, whatever it may be, there's always a pattern to it. We always collapse back and we reset back to that old identity. The key is when you get new results and new success, do not panic, neutralize it, embody it, and keep relaxed. Slow down to speed up. What I mean by that is you accomplish success, don't react. Slow down, neutralize it, embody this new success. Make it feel safe. Make it feel like it's a part of who you are. Just completely neutralize it. And then as you go, find evidence for why this new success is actually safe and good. So daily reflections, writing it down, weekly reflections, writing it down. Find evidence. Train your RAS to find the good and not the bad. Because if not, it's going to find reasons of why this is not good, why this path you shouldn't be on, and why you should retreat back to square one. and it will convince you almost every single time. So you need to override that by finding evidence for why this new path, this new success, this new change is actually best for you and not bad for you. And that is the training for today, team, on how to truly break through this next level by getting your biology on track, to rewire yourself from the inside out so you stop rejecting that next level that you're striving for. Now, if you are a serious six-figure entrepreneur who's already established, you're a high-level performer who's already established, but you need that help to unlock that next level. You need that extra guidance to unlock that next level in your life. You can apply down below for one-to-one help. And also, if you like this training, guys, make sure you do like and subscribe for more every single week on Mondays and Thursdays. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you on the next training.